Black power and all power to the people. This is E Da Ref, Minister of Public Relations of Black Riders Liberation Party, New Generation Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. You tuned in to the 3rd Annual Ratcliff Awards, you know what I'm saying? Standing solid for prison abolition and the war to free all political prisoners, Prisoners Award. So basically, you know, the Black Riders Liberation Party, the Black Commune Program, which is the upgraded 10-point platform, the evolved 10-point platform of the original Black Panther Party. Point E states that we ride because we demand all cases of black people held captive in the jails and prisons of America to be reopened and retried by a jury of our own peers, and freedom of all political prisoners. You know what I'm saying? First off, I wanted to touch on, you know, the incarceration of elders, you know, that are pretty much like the age of, you know, senior citizens. That's pretty much, not just pretty much, it's cruel and unusual punishment, and it's a human rights violation. You know what I'm saying? The world courts of the UN and any other court, you know what I'm saying, knows that it's inhumane to have someone incarcerated for that long, like for that long when they're elderly and not having decent medical attention. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just like with the solitary confinement, and you know, you got to look at these things as torture. What's going on in the Department of Concentration Camps in California is torture, and we can't look at it as nothing less. You know what I'm saying? Or else you're enabling the system to do something that's inhumane to people and continue to do it. This is just something that has to be abolished, destroyed. But in order to abolish it, we need to develop real intercommunal solidarity. You know what I'm saying? That means across communal lines, you know what I'm saying, whatever community you come from, beyond just an ethnic thing or a national thing. What I'm saying, people have different cultures and people have different backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? And all of these different backgrounds, you know what I'm saying, whether it be from ethnic, whether it be street tribe, whatever, you know what I'm saying, could be utilized there's power and strength in numbers, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason why we're losing is because we're divided along these lines. You know what I'm saying? We're all just a small community of colonized peoples anyway. You know what I'm saying? Especially black people, first and foremost. Black people are all over the world. You know what I'm saying? One of the most, you know what I'm saying, diverse groups of people. You know what I mean? From the African diaspora to the continent, to continental Africans, to native black people in lands like Papua New Guinea and Australia and the Eskimo, and the Eskimo peoples and the Native American Aboriginal black people, we united have a lot of power and a lot of culture, you know, that connects us, you know what I'm saying, of being one with the land and being one with the nature. And you know, we need to unite around those common causes and those common understandings and those common practices. So you know, during the hunger strikes, the prison hunger strikes, there was one of the main call-outs was the call to end of all hostilities amongst, you know, different races and ethnicities, from the black to the brown to the white to the Asians, yellows, all of that, right? You know what I mean? And so we as black people, the Black Riders Liberation Party, we have an understanding that black people have a certain role to play because we are the majority of the people that are incarcerated right now. You know what I mean? And we understand that if we don't unite amongst ourselves, if we don't put down the beef between, you know, let's say Crips and Bloods and GDs and Vice Lords and all these different street tribes amongst black people, then we can't even play a good example to the other ethnicities and groups of people of what unity and solidarity really looks like. So within that call for all hostilities and the racial hostilities, we still have a call for racial unity to so that could actually take place practically with the assassination of and long live the spirit of Comrade Hugo Yogi Pinell. You know what I'm saying? With the assassination of that strong brother, and we're dealing with a lot of the other situations when it comes to racial tension due to the era of the Donald Trump and the alt-right. Racial tensions have reached certain levels that is very, very hard to reconcile. You know what I'm saying? But however, we got a lot of the black on black violence, and, you know what I'm saying, that needs to be reconciled. You know what I'm saying? Too. So that's just something that we got a reality we got to come across. All black street tribes need to unite. You know what I mean? Another unjust thing about the prison industrial complex is its indeterminate sentences, the school to prison pipeline. All of that is just systematically designed, you know. And we understand that we must build like independent educational institutions, specifically, you know, particularly for black people and all other oppressed people in general. You know what I mean? We also need to combat the healthcare crisis, not healthcare, the inadequate healthcare, and a lack of medical attention given to incarcerated people is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Especially during the pandemic, you know, during the coronavirus, we have like it's genocide. There's 243 deaths, and this is and probably more than that now, and over 50,000 cases of COVID this year of people incarcerated in California. You know what I'm saying? And they're living in conditions cramped up. It's a whole nother world of not just lawlessness, but of inhumane torture that's going on in these concentration camps of America. So what we need to do is we need to put political pressure on these city councils, the local government, you know what I'm saying, from the cities to the state. Put political pressure on them to basically redistribute these resources instead of trying to militarize the police system, the police, and trying to militarize encampments, you know what I'm saying, for people who are, you know, whether they're vaccinated or whether not vaccinated. We've already been through a large level of incarceration and being captured as black people. That's the relations. That's like the level of relations and property and economics that we have as it being in the belly of the imperial beast of America. You know what I'm saying? And these resources, they should be put towards like craftsmanship, engineering, you know, technology, skills that allow us to employ ourselves instead of destroying ourselves. Legislation has to get passed that could open up some of these vacant properties to houseless people to deal with the housing crisis, because we was dealing with a housing crisis before. Even before the pandemic, and it's even got worse during the pandemic. So, you know, it's a lot of properties that are unkept, and a lot of vacant lots and vacant houses. That it's more houses than people that are. Everybody could be housing. Now, housing is a human right. You know what I'm saying? So, legislation we got to put towards. We got to put some pressure so we can pass certain legislation to make that happen. And if that don't work, the sky's the limit. We gotta push our own. We gotta push our own agenda and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? By hook or by crook, by any means necessary. You know what I mean? Yeah, we also have a big problem dealing with black women and children that has been coming up missing. You know, the Black Riders Liberation Party, PANSOC, Huey P. Newton Gun Club, Fred Hampton Gun Club, Geronimo Pratt Gun Club, Anubis, in fact, and Sisters of the Underground. Many black self-defense groups have been coordinated and spearheaded operations, you know, search missions, and a lot of patrols trying to combat human trafficking. We've been very successful, but we need some more support. So, any of those groups that I've named are a part of a coordinated, unified effort to combat human trafficking of black women and children in particular, and black people in general. Um, the Black Riders Liberation Party operates off of a two-pronged strategy. Our two-pronged strategy is to create bases of revolutionary action in the street by unifying street tribes, people from different hoods, members of different turfs, coming together, identifying the common enemy of U.S. imperialism, the pigs, the politicians, and the ruling class, the avaricious businessmen that's exploiting the community, landlords, the slumlords, things like that. And a lot of this education on that could be done through participation and confrontation against the real enemy. You know what I mean? That helps a lot. You know what I'm saying? As well as that's the one part. The other part of the two-pronged strategy is creating somewhat hidden universities of revolutionary thought and training within the confines of concentration camps in California or all over the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? Prison got some of the best of our kind. That's we got modern day Malcolm X's and Elders Cleavers and Bunchy Carters, and you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of soldiers that are in there, that are theoreticians, that are military tacticians, and we need them to we need to create vehicles for them to put their ideas into practice, and create vehicles to sustain and support the struggle on the inside. You know what I mean? And we can't do that without a communal infrastructure. You know what I mean? The Black Riders Liberation Party, we have a hip-hop campaign known as the Urban Guerrilla Rap. Rap is an acronym for Revolutionary African Propaganda, coming from the revolutionary arts and poetry. This campaign is something that we've used to pretty much reflect the reality of the inhumane conditions of people in the streets, the colonies, and the hood, the ghettos, as well as the prison concentration camps. You know what I mean? As just basically reflecting and speaking out about it to raise awareness about these things. Just like it's an information tool. It's very effective. Shout out to SF, the Bayview, and the Prison Focus. They played a major role in spreading awareness about the prison abolition movement, and we would like people to support. We need the movement to get behind the support and solidarity for Comrade Ozone Wallace. This brother is facing the death penalty. They are charging him with the murder of officer by the name of Jason Rayner out there in Daytona, in Florida. They have footage. They have the cam footage of him being of the officer violently, aggressively approaching brother, comrade Ozone Wallace, placing his hands on him. A scuffle broke out, and somehow the pig was the officer was damaged, was hurt, was injured, and had gunshot wounds, and he succumbed to the wounds. And there's no proof that the brother had did anything. We're not admitting to anything as far as any crime that he committed. Well, we do know that he has a right to defend himself against unlawful arrest. Especially in Florida, where there is a stand your ground law, a law that has been used against against young black people to justify the murder of young black people by the vigilante police, you know. Anyways, yeah, so, we want to say, throw your support and solidarity for Ozone Othel Wallace. Ozone Othel Wallace out of Florida, you know what I'm saying? We also want people to support and get their solidarity behind the commander of INFACT, the Non Fucking Around Coalition, Grandmaster Jay. He's been, they trumped up some charges and trying to incarcerate him. A lot of the federal and state charges. A lot of charges have been dropped. He's not currently incarcerated in prison. However, he's still fighting for his life. And they're trying to charge him with federal case. Federal charges. Want to give a special shout out to Comrade Yehudu Rowe, all the comrades of the Short Corridor Collective, all the comrades that was involved in the prison hunger strike, from the Corcoran Shoe, all the way to the comrades at San Quentin, all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Just salute to all the prison hunger strikers. Salute. Also, I want y'all to check out the Hunger Striking for True Freedom. It's a political musical by my comrade Minister King X, aka Pieface. Cage Universal put it together. Me, myself, E Da Ref, member of the Black Riders Liberation Party, the Black Riders Music Camp. I'm featured on the project. It's a track called Chaos. You know what I'm saying? So go and check that out. It's on all the streams. It's on Spotify. It's called Hunger Striking for True Freedom, Minister King X. And check out that track called Chaos. It's featuring me on it, E Da Ref, Black Riders Music Camp, Urban Guerrilla Rap, Cage Universal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's the Ratcliff Awards. You know what I'm saying? And please support us, the Black Riders Liberation Party, and our programs like the Break the Lock program. It's a support mechanism for communication and transportation for loved ones of people, families who's been incarcerated. You know what I mean? We need a lot of support for that. Information like our books program. We had a book drive, book to prison program that was able to distribute many copies of the Book of Khalid, which is a book about the Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, authored by Malik Zulu Shabazz. So please, just Google us, look us up, Black Riders Liberation Party. Check us out on Facebook. Google, check out some of our YouTube, music on YouTube, the Black Riders Music Camp, SoundCloud, and check out some of our footage on YouTube. Contact us. We are recruiting for soldiers, scholars, healers, and builders. And look out for Black Riders Liberation Party. My name is E Da Ref. I'm the Minister of Public Relations. Over and out. Salute to all the comrades, you know what I'm saying? Free them all till the towers of Babylon fall, and till we blow down Jericho's wall. Black power and all power to the people.